What are your thoughts on this one tonight?
Well, it's a phenomenal win. It's the first time that we've ever won here as a club, and I think that speaks to how difficult a task it is. And I don't think it should be glossed over that you're playing in difficult conditions. It's not easy playing in the mountains, as we discussed the other day, and to have won in the way that we won very convincingly for me, in spite of the fact that the game finishes in the way it finishes with us defending our box for large periods. That was a really convincing win, and we won in the way that we knew we'd have a good chance of winning today. And I think you also saw a side in them that is absolutely desperately fighting to get above the playoff line. And I think the combination of that, the combination of the conditions here, and the fact that we've won with a decent margin is credit to all the players in there, because it is not an easy place to come and play.
What made this one so comfortable when maybe similar games the rest of the season haven't been so comfortable defending that lead?
Well, we've talked a lot about what it takes to see Leeds out in these situations, and I think if you look across the Seattle game and the game today, we've shown real, firstly, organisation, discipline. There's a real framework and strategy, but also the players then have to fill that with life. And I've talked a few times about the real desperation to keep the ball out of the net, and the real grit and determination that goes with that. And we've seen that in bucket loads over the course of the last two games. And I never really got too hung up on the narrative about us not being able to close games out in comparison to other teams, because I think with a team that is most often leading across all 30 teams, it's natural that we get to the end of games and the opposition are throwing everything at us, and from time to time you are going to concede goals and give leads up. But I think in very difficult circumstances against Seattle last week, very good team, one of the better teams in the league, and then today a team, not up there, but they have good players. They are a team that has a very clear playing style, and they are absolutely desperate to win. So I think given our position going into the last 15-20 minutes, it was always going to be a case of having to defend the box in the way that we did. And I never thought it was in doubt. I felt we were really comfortable at the top of the box, and the players were phenomenal to a man in that sense.
You talked a lot about how you've sort of chunked up the season a little bit and motivated players throughout the season by breaking things up. As you go down the stretch here, do you find that you're talking more about potentially winning trophies or more about potentially playoff positioning? Let's put it that way.
No, we talk about winning trophies because I feel we're positioned to do so, and we have been positioned to do so for a while. And it's an ambitious group. I'm an ambitious coach. I feel like this is a situation that we have to try and take advantage of as a club. That it's not a situation. When you consider where we are in the table and the Open Cup that you're in every year, and it's very difficult to come by a situation like this. And we've done a really good job to get ourselves in this position, and we've got to make sure that we treat every game between now and the end of the year, as if it's a cup final, and we'll see where that takes us. And we've got a group of players in there that are really motivated to take that spot above us now, and we'll see what happens over the course of six huge games left in MLS.
Seems like a little bit of a different role for Joaquin Pereira tonight, maybe a little bit of a freer role. How are you sort of deploying him at this point of the season?
Yeah, he's a player for us who's really important in what we create and what we do with the ball. And I want to make sure that for the opposition there is a degree of unpredictability to the positions that he takes up. And obviously, the situation around Tani is what it is. I'm not going to speak about that in great detail, but obviously it's fairly plain why Tani wasn't in the starting 11 tonight. And we haven't got loads and loads of depth in those attacking options, and felt like the way in which we used Joaquin alongside Kelvin was good for this game, and I'm sure it's something that we can consider as we move forward.
You say Oluwaseyi not being in the starting lineup, was it just a choice to have him have sort of fewer minutes, or was there something else behind that?
No, just I mean, it doesn't need me to nod to what's been talked about in the media, and what is likely to happen, I would say, over the course of the week. But Tani has been here, been engaged, but hasn't been able to train as fully as I would have liked over the course of this week, and I didn't want to take any risks in that sense. It's obviously a pretty pivotal moment in his career, and I think the fact that he was able to come on and help us at the end in the way that he does in those situations was big, and I think he demonstrated tonight what a strong team player is, what a strong defensive forward he is in those moments, and how he can really help us and has helped us up until this point.
Seems like last week, especially, we saw a bit of frustration from Kelvin Yeboah. Where is he at this point in the season, in your estimation?
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how the next week pans out in that sense, and where that leaves us. But crucially for me, Kelvin has to and does perform what is required of a forward from a defensive perspective, and I think he's really improved in that sense, and I think he we put him down as a real team player there too, and I think sometimes forwards make, particularly with the way that we play, they make some sacrifices in terms of what the attacking output is, but Kelvin now has an opportunity to take centre stage, and I think if you look at what he gave us over the course of the run in last year, it was remarkable, and that player is there, and we've seen that in lots of moments over the course of the last weeks and months, and he is capable of big moments, and I'm fairly adamant we will see that in the coming weeks.
Given that there was sort of that incident last year where Brian Veras spit on Michael Boxall, how much satisfaction do you or the team take seeing an own goal go off him?
Yeah, I don't take much satisfaction in that. I didn't know it was him who scored the own goal actually, but I think I mean, we've played Salt Lake so often since I've been here. Played them obviously over the course of the playoffs last year, a couple of games late on last year. We played them ironically in the first preseason game back this year, and we've had two good games against them this year. And I always feel there's a bit of an edge to the game, and particularly given the context now, us fighting for a position at the top of the table, those guys fighting to get over the line for the play-in game, and that brings with it a real tension. And I think we handled that really well, and we certainly did our bit to win the game.
How much do you find yourself sort of looking at the other results, whether it's Vancouver right now or San Diego later, where you start watching those games and thinking about the top of the table?
Yeah, I don't. I think it's very difficult not to. I think you with the way the games have gone tonight, and the guys that are around us playing as we speak. It's hard to ignore as you get in. Obviously, everyone's talking about the results, and everyone, of course, has that vision up toward the top of the table, and we want to make sure that we're really well positioned to fight for that top spot over the course of the remaining six games. We've put ourselves in a really good position tonight, and we've tackled two really difficult games in the last two. We've got Portland heading into the international break, and we really want to finish this little chunk of games well before hopefully we welcome the new guys in, and we can feel that we've got slightly more depth, and we can properly attack the remainder of what we have.
It's good for me. Get home safe.
Thanks, John. Speak soon.
All right.
Later.
Congrats. Safe travels tomorrow.
Thanks, mate.